Hey everyone, it's Jeremy. Welcome back to Pokemon Gold Turn 45, where we are playing Cyanwood City. Let's jump into the turn. Same as normal, whole lot of stuff going on. Going to just run through, see what's happening, pick anything important, and go from there. So we have completed Conjuration 5, on our way to Conjuration 6. There's a couple of different things that we're going to get from Conjuration. We might take a more advanced look at this this turn, but the ultimate goal there is Conjuration 8, where we can start getting Kings of Elemental Earth, because they're badass. So, we have constructed another Golem, no magic sites in Griffin Rock, none in Scarce Hope Wastes, none in Debrithia, and none in Griffin Rock again. So, unfortunate round of castings for us. We have Unrest increasing in Cyanwood City now, so we might have to do a patrolling there. I'm not sure that we really have to worry about it because I think our base takes care of it, but we'll see. Viridian City, Omicria, and then we have some seductions. So we've got a seduction from the Olivine City guitarist, and we won. So that's good. We have Steelix in Ministra, Omicria. We fought in Berman Highs, but we lost. We didn't lose by much, by the way. This is something that we're going to take a look at, but it was pretty close. We got Trouble Bog, or we lost Trouble Bog. We won Spires of Ascension. We won Windsong Forest. We won Kratos, but barely. And I can tell you why, right? It's because the Olivine City gentleman has the fortress, and the fortress exploded on a bunch of these people, which I think is pretty strong. But I don't think that's like one of those. Oh, that's OP. You know, you can't send fly. It's just very good against low health flying raiders. You know, like if you were playing Jabobler or something like that, you know, this would be an oopsie doodle every time you ran into it, basically. We attacked in Three Pine Grove and killed a Skullgirl. Very good. We were beaten by the defending forces of Olivine City in Silver Grove, which is kind of unfortunate. We killed everything but the Steelix, the single Steelix there. It goes berserk, so eventually we just routed. We have taken back Hobergdorf. We have lost Griffin Rock while we were trying to patrol, which is again unfortunate. Our undefended province in Cavern Realm has been taken. We were beaten in Titan Steps. We won in Junal Forest. We won in Silver Wall. And, okay, so now we have the breaches. So Griffin Rock is breached. Omicria is breached. Saffron City is breached. We got 2 battle afflictions cured, 1 unit disease cured, and a bunch of promotions. So there really weren't any big important battles this turn, but I do want to take a look at the one in Berman Highs. This is against Arma Champion and a Steelix Champion, so we want to watch this. So we go through a cycle of buffs. We do Earth Power. We do Papagai. We do Temper Flesh. We do Iron Skin. We Bless. And we cast Iron Will. Okay, so we are kitted out thusly. And none of this stuff was made for Urborn, by the way. This was all just thrown onto him because it was stuff that we had. I think maybe we made the Dancing Trident, maybe we made the Dragon Helm. But we didn't make the Ring of the Warrior, we didn't make the Amulet of Resilience. So, watch. And I mean, this is pretty simple. He comes in, smacks, and then it's the 2 of them, and they begin to dance, right? Because every time the Steelix tramples him, gets moved around a little bit, and he is hurting the Steelix And sometimes he's actually legitimately hurting the Steelix. It's actually on the occasion that he hurts him pretty well. But it's not quite enough, right? So I'm sitting here thinking to myself, what are cheap ways that we can get Airborne and my other Machampion to actually start doing some damage? And I don't know that there's a good answer, honestly. If they were Earth 3 bases, because see, Airborne is a 2-2, so he's kind of like the worst of the lot, right? He's absolutely base. So Airborne is probably not going to be able to do anything. But if we had, if they were an Earth 3 naturally, we could Earth power up to an Earth 4, and then one Nature Gem could get them to Weapons of Sharpness, which would AP all of their stuff. I think with Armor Piercing, they already have Armor Piercing on Karate Chop, but I think with Armor Piercing on Low Kick, Seismic Toss, and Dynamic Punch, I think they would be able to wreck a base Steelix, right? Because, so, we can watch this for a little bit. He punches around for a little while, and there are times where, it's not right now, but there are times where the Steelix champion's health starts to drop, right? And the big thing being is that the Steelix champion has very, very low defense, right? So almost every single time we attack, they all hit. And he has pretty low attack skill compared to our normal defense. Now, Airborne is a little experienced, so he has a little bit more of a base, but for the most part, it's a high base, or bless portion that's adding to this scenario. So I'm sitting here thinking, what are the things that we could do aside from potentially Weapons of Sharpness to kind of kit out some of these Machampions to face off against other Steelixes? Again, we're looking for all these different options. What can we do? Because we found, and then he eventually, right, an actual hit. So he's been trampling. He's been trample pinging me this entire time. Eventually, an actual hit lands. He actually like gets through my defense skill, and that hit does 10 damage after the protection and reduction and everything like that. And then we wrap. Which is fine. We weren't going to win that fight anyways, but it was very interesting to see what we could do, what we were capable of doing, okay? And I think there's potentially ways that we could win this. Like I said, I think Earth 3, Earth Power, single Earth Gem, Weapons of Sharpness can win this, right? With kind of irrelevant gear, but I'm not sure what else. And the problem is 100% that they can't wield weapons. So, trying to figure out what our options could be there. So, we're going to see. Other than that, I don't think there were any real important battles. So, probably just going to jump into the turn, and we'll go from here. So, Viridian City, or Olivine City front. Nothing has really changed on the Olivine City front. We're still moving Falco around. We haven't really gotten him any support yet. I have a number of flying units, but they're kind of busy in my own territories. I want to change that. I want to get some people out and about to actually start attacking. So hopefully we're going to do that in the next couple turns. But for now, Falco is still moving about. Our grunts are still moving about. Our Battle Girl Rubies are still instilling unrest wherever they go. Mostly effectively. So that's good. And that's pretty much it. We're moving Falco over, we're moving Wiglia into stealth, and then we're probably going to attack in Vepetier. And we'll see how this all turns out. In the Saffron City front, we are making a couple of different maneuvers, and some of these are pretty important maneuvers. So we know we are breached in Omicria. I do not want to lose any of these Pokefan moms, especially not Kathleen, considering she is holding our Thistle Mace at the moment. So we are sending Zarin, we're sending the Golem, down to fight in Omicria. So we know what is here is a couple of regular Steelixes and a gentleman leading them. I am not worried about them beating Zarin. Not really, anyways. Hopefully not. So, hopefully Zarin can walk in and just crush him. Urborn is going to head down to Wellrid to kick some ass there. And just kind of generally stay in the area, because again, I want to try to figure out if there are some interesting, cheap ways that I can augment the champions for damage. So we will see. What else? Robodan is storming the castle in Saffron City, obviously. See? That's going to be a very big deal. I think we're okay, sans a Steelix Schoolgirl combo showing up. This is dangerous, moving Zarin away from Robodan, but I think it's a worthwhile risk to make sure we keep a hold of the things that we are trying to hold on to. So fingers crossed. Okay, so moving from the Saffron City front, we are going over into the Viridian City front. And we've got Chuck up here in the north with Kunal. I had to make a tough decision. So we've taken Three Pine Grove back. There's nothing we can really do about fortifying it right now. And even if we did, we've seen how easily they pop forts. It's just not something we can concern ourselves with at the moment. I had to make a tough decision on whether or not to send Chuck's army for Violet City this turn. We wouldn't have made it on this turn, but we could have gotten to Scarce Hope Waste and then hit it the following turn. I think getting to Violet City is going to be a very important thing. Problem is I do not have a defensible force near Kunal. But I might have a defensible force near Kunal next turn. I think I'm going to alter this, actually. I think I'm going to pull the trigger and we're going to take Chuck. It's time to start hurting Olivine City. It's frustrating that we've had to let them kind of do what they want to do. I think we're getting to the point where we can actually start fighting back. So we're going to start moving Chuck towards Violet City. This does leave Kunal kind of in a dicey situation, but we now have Robodan, we now have Zarin, we now have Norag. We're going to have another Golem next turn. We now have Yazar. Hopefully next turn, I think next turn we will have Zinville out in the field. So we're getting more and more of these response groups. Kathleen is kind of like a mini response group. So we're gonna try to start making some maneuvers against Olivine, and hopefully it works out. So what else is happening in the Viridian City front? Not much, honestly. We didn't end up with very much gold. We're barely making ends meet this turn. We're doing an arcane probing. We're alchemizing a whole lot of gems. You might have seen over the last couple turns, we've gone from 150, 140, 160-ish to barely over 100. We're probably not going to do that for very much longer. This is probably the last turn that we do that on. I say that we might do it another turn or two. Alchemizing gems like this hurts. It hurts a lot. I don't want to do it. But at the very least, we're only alchemizing to astral. We're not having to alchemize into something else. So it's just a 2-to-1 rather than a 4-to-1 scenario, right? So that's something to keep in mind, right? In Viridian City, we are still patrolling with Kathleen. I need to keep the income on Viridian City, so what I have here that can fight is staying here, but I'm pinging the provinces around us just to try to keep things up and going, right? We have augmented Kathleen's battle group to be a bit stronger because she has leveled up. She has gotten enough experience to gain a buff to her leadership. So she has way more power fighting with her now, which I like. If she comes up against 2 Steelixes now, I don't think it's an instant loss like I think it was previously. So we've done a bit more of division in our experience groups. So again, we have the can it fight a Steelix? We have the is it kind of useless? We have the it isn't useless, we'd like to use it later type thing. We have the gold income, and then we have eventual flyers, right? Like the Charmanders aren't flyers, but they turn into flyers once they hit Charizard. So we're working on that, and basically we're throwing things into Ekis's group to move out, ping, come back, move out, ping, come back, etc. We've got another Crush Girl here as a leader should Ekis die, which I'm anticipating is going to happen sooner rather than later. And yeah, I think that's probably about it for over here in Viridian City. So, moving into Cyanwood, this front. So, Griffin Rock is under siege. It's breached by a couple of Steelixes. Zephyron cannot fight against them, which is very bad. So we are sending Norag out. He is kitted out with our Eye Catcher, Dusk Dagger. He's doing the same kind of setup, and that is he's doing Body Ethereal, Resist Magic, Astral Shield. The Resist Magic and Astral Shield is probably unnecessary against the groups that we are running into, but I don't think they put me at too much of a risk of over-encumbering. They might, which would be very dangerous, and I probably should watch out for that. But we shall see. So, Norag's going to go out there, and if I fuck that up and he dies, my own fault. We'll learn from it and go from there. We are moving Yazar back up to Impassable Mountains because I need to start, now that hopefully Zinville is going to come online soon. You can start taking care of the area around Cyanwood City. I need Yazar to get up into other areas, to be able to hold other areas, so that Robodan can start making moves towards other units, which would be awesome. Okay. Also fucking another one of our fly guys. Every time we go to Omicria, we get locked in Omicria. Every time. And I chose wrong, right? I want to point this out. I had this debate last turn. Like, I wanted to send Zarin into Omicria to move and patrol because I was so sure that he was going to hit Omicria this turn. But I was like, yes, he might hit Omicria this turn, but if he hits Saffron and there's a schoolgirl there, then Robodan's gonna lose. So I actively chose to go to Saffron City instead. And now I'm actively choosing to leave it, so I kind of feel like that was a dumb decision. So we'll see how it goes. But, yeah, anyways. So we're moving Yazar up. We want him to be able to participate in some of the counter Steelixing. We have a whole bunch of units just moving around. We're moving over into Ministra. We're moving back into Ograthon. We're bringing Kratos back to Cyanwood City. We're bringing Feral over to Cyanwood City. And this is entirely so that they can pick up flyers. So we have done some organizing as well in Cyanwood. And that's basically the same type of scenario. Can it kill a Steelix? Does it fly? We don't have gold generation here. So we have a fifth one that is it useless? But all of the is it uselesses are now on Benna, and she's actually going to be heading out into the open to counter raid. So we're doing, can it kill a Steelix? Is it an evolution? Do I think it'll be useful in the long run? Can it fly? And then the fifth is it useless? But that's actually empty for us right now. So. All right. We are recruiting a swimmer. Why are we recruiting a swimmer? Because swimmers are our cheapest researchers, basically. They're our cheapest mages. Karatekas are 110. Battle Girl Pearls are 110. They are better mages, but right now I'm looking just to have more things to put Lightless Lanterns and Owl Quills on, because slowly but surely, every turn I'm having more and more trouble actually outfitting all of our people, all of our research items. If I don't make the effort to have more researchers and continue to build those research items, then we're going to flatline on our research. And we've already seen, check the score graphs, Celadon City, I believe, is catching up to us. They're probably going to surpass us. You can see, like, we had this great curve and they were just behind us for a long time, and then our curve just suddenly stopped. Well, it doesn't stop, right? It didn't flatline, but it's definitely like bending back, you know? It's funny to think that like 20 turns ago, this is where we first surpassed Cinnabar. And it's been this crazy growth ever since. Fortunately, Olivine is still way down there. More fortunately, and I think this is probably the most fortunate and important thing, is that Pewter City is still very low. Pewter City is the other person that is doing probably the best in the game. They're doing very amazing. Lots of provinces, lots of forts, lots of income, lots of gem income, pretty crappy research, pretty great army. So that's something that we have to watch out for. Anyways, we are making another round of items. So we're doing another golem construction. We're making another round of gear. We got a gate cleaver coming, dragon helm, armor of knights. We are very excited. We finally got a water battle girl. We were finally successful on this, so we're forging boots of quickness for only 6 gems instead of 10 gems. Or, 6 gems instead of 8 gems. That shit adds up. Like, honestly, it adds up being able to shave 4 gems off of a construction. That's really, really huge. So we're doing a bunch of forging. We're getting another lightless lantern, etc. And that's mostly it, right? We're kind of getting into this role of the raiding, counter raiding. I really want to ramp the raiding part up. Dolgad Feral. I think if we're not dead and if we have Dathan next turn, we're probably going to send both of them to Dathan and then do the flight down to Trouble Bog. Because if we had 3 people flying around raiding his lands, we would have way more success than 1 person flying around raiding his lands. So, we're going to see how that goes. I think that's about it. So we do have Shy Call. This is something that I wanted to continue talking about. We do have Shy Call, who is a Earth 3 mage, right? So we do have this Earth 3 mage that we can Earth power, give an Earth gem, and cast. Let's go to. He can cast Weapons of Sharpness, which is Earth 5. So it gives all of his attacks would be armor piercing. And I honestly think at that point, he wins a battle with a Steelix. I think he wins a battle with a couple Steelixes, probably. As long as his the rest of his buffs are good. There's a couple problems with it, though. Is getting those Earth Gems and keeping them. There's not like a... Let me check that. I don't think there is. Fortune item. there's not like an earth gem temp item, like a temporary earth gem item, which seems kind of meh, you know? Like there's ones for astral, there's ones for nature, there are ones for water, right? Isn't there one for water? There's one for fire. There's not one for earth that I can remember. I'm probably wrong. I'm probably wrong. There's probably there's probably one. I don't know if it's. I don't know. I honestly can't think of one. But I don't know that just saddling him up with earth gems is going to be an effective way to do this, right? So we're going to have to see. I'm going to think about some things. Here's another thing. Oof. Actually, I'll say this. I do want to start doing this. So we're gonna swap. Again, this is another reason why I think these are our last two researchers, and the only thing they're not using is lightless lanterns. So I need more research bodies to put owl quills and lightless lanterns on. Our research is almost at 1,000. We are at turn 45. So with Shy Call, I'm actually going to start. I'm going to go to the high school and start training. He doesn't have a crazy amount of experience, but getting a couple of champions, right? Getting them leveled up a little bit, even just a little bit, right, can really augment their stats. Like we've seen, Urborn has 114 experience, and he has another pip from strength, right? He has another 3 attack from his experience, another 3 defense from his experience. That's pretty big shit, right? That can really matter in the long run. And I have these schools that I'm not doing anything with, so I think I'm going to, when I have champions open like this, I think I'm going to try to start upping them. And if I guess I have golems, I might try it too. But we'll see. We shall see. I think that's probably it for the turn, honestly. We're making many of the same motions that we have been. I think those motions are becoming more and more successful. I think Olivine is running out of short-term options, but he still has plenty of long-term options on the table, right? We have to start hurting him drastically before he gets research on the table, before he gets more construction on the table specifically, I think. Because if he starts putting gear onto these Steelixes, we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. Alright, I think that's it. I will see you all next time. Bye, everybody.